Hello, everybody. David Schuster here. The Trump administration and its border czar, Tom Homan, are now getting blasted.
Tom Homan obviously needs to be fired immediately. He is the person right now at the White House working with DHS, directing what's happening across the country. In most cases, illegal raids, taking away due process from people in this country, deporting, in some cases, American citizens. And this man took a bribe. This is someone that should be nowhere near the government.
As Reuters reports, Trump aide Homan accepted $50,000 in bribery sting operation, sources say. MSNBC, in an undercover operation last year, the FBI recorded Tom Homan, now the White House border czar, accepting $50,000 in cash after indicating he could help the agents who were posing as business executives win government contracts in a second Trump administration. New York Times, the cash payment, which was made inside a bag from the food chain Cava, grew out of a long-running counterintelligence investigation that had not been targeting Mr. Homan. That's right. This was brought to the FBI in the summer of 2024 because of an investigation into somebody else. At the time, Donald Trump was running for the White House again, and Tom Homan was by his side at countless rallies and promoting that he, Homan, would have a high-level border security job if Trump won. Here's MSNBC's Carol Leonig.
During that time, the FBI began hearing from the subject of another investigation that Tom Homan was soliciting bribes and doing so in exchange for promises that he would eventually be in the administration and be able to deliver and influence federal contracts to help those businesses that paid him.
So the FBI got tipped off that Homan was soliciting bribes. The Bureau then followed its usual procedure and set up an undercover sting operation.
Now, what the FBI decided to do was have a series of undercover agents approach that intermediary and also approach Tom Homan. And our sources and an internal document that we reviewed show that the FBI recorded him receiving this money in September 20th in a meeting they arranged.
Yes, Homan was reportedly recorded on camera accepting the Cava grocery bag stuffed with $50,000 in cash. Now, because Donald Trump had not yet won the election, and Homan had not yet been named Trump's border czar, Homan, under the law, did not technically qualify as a government official. So he could not be charged with the crime of bribery, which is normally what the Department of Justice would charge somebody if they were offering to help steer government contracts in exchange for money. As a result, the FBI and the Department of Justice decided simply to monitor Tom Homan, wait for his status to change to officially become a government official, and see if he delivered on the promises he made to steer government contracts or if he went back to the purported business entities and asked for more money. In November of 2024, Donald Trump won the election and immediately named Homan his border czar. However, the incoming Trump administration, when presented with the ongoing Department of Justice investigation into Homan, decided to quash it. The Trump White House, in a statement to several news organizations, says the Homan investigation had been inappropriate.
Statements to us in which they told MSNBC essentially that this was a improper investigation begun during President Biden's term, and that it was an attempt to go after a Trump ally, and they shuttered the case because they viewed it as lacking sufficient evidence to proceed. Of course, that is not at all how the FBI agents or the prosecutors working on this case viewed it.
And they viewed it as Tom Homan on camera accepted a bag of cash and promised on camera to deliver government contracts in exchange for the bribe. In other words, the Department of Justice and the FBI saw Tom Homan as a crook and had the evidence to prove it. But in the world of Donald Trump and Tom Homan, criminality only applies to people who are not part of the administration or people who don't have citizenship.
We're going to show the whole world that if you enter this country illegally, which is a crime, and you commit yet another crime here, there is zero tolerance. We're going to find you and deport you. We got to show the world there's consequences for violating our law.
We have to show the world there's consequences for violating the law. Well, perhaps Tom Homan can now self-deport himself to a prison in El Salvador or anywhere else. Otherwise, there is hypocrisy And then there is Tom Homan. Again, here's Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia.
And the fact that this is the same person that is out there raiding and working to raid car washes and restaurants and factories and deporting people for not having, in most cases, any sort of criminal conviction. Tom Homan should self-deport himself. This is completely stunning. I think the American public has got to deserve that he's fired immediately and demand that he's fired immediately. And all of us in the committee work need to ensure that we investigate.
Indeed, there should now be a congressional investigation or an independent counsel probe into Tom Homan and how the Trump administration treats corruption accusations. Homan reportedly agreed on camera to help secure government contracts once his side won power. And yet the Trump administration's defense is, well, he did not yet hold office, so there's no reason to investigate Homan now. Come on. Promises made in the shadow, influence in waiting, bags of cash in hand. This is what corruption looks like. The notion that political victory may absolve Tom Homan or anyone else of wrongdoing is dangerous and corrosive to public trust. What is at stake here, never mind Tom Homan's alleged criminal ambitions, is whether the American people can trust that high office comes with consequence, not just privilege. Tom Homan allegedly accepted a blatant cash payment. He offered help for contracts contingent on who won. And now, under Trump, the investigation has been squelched. That's a scandal. It demands an investigation, it demands oversight, and it demands leadership. If there are no congressional hearings and no investigations, we might as well tear down the saying inscribed on the Supreme Court that says equal justice under the law. Because as things stand now under Trump, laws clearly do not apply to the powerful, only the powerless. Instead of justice being blind, now it's partisan. And if there isn't a Trump White House criticism of Tom Homan, one imagines it's a sneer because the bag of cash was only $50,000. By the way, Donald Trump's recent visit to the United Kingdom was drowned out by some creative protesters.
Donald Trump, you can't hide!
United in anger, protesters marched through central London. Trump's visit, the one catalyst for thousands to platform many causes.
He's got rid of women's rights, the abortion rights in certain states.
I'm here because Donald Trump is a climate change denier.
He is undermining the Constitution and democracy and the rule of law in the United States.
Today's headline demonstration, further spotlighting Palestinian, Ukrainian, and migrant issues, was organized by the Stop Trump Coalition.
We feel disgusted, we feel humiliated.
Seema Sayeda is its spokesperson.
Why protest Trump's visit?
So that we can show that there's mass resistance.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. Some of the most popular comments include, kudos to the Brits, and he's finally getting the biggest crowds, numbers like nobody's ever seen. Indeed. I look forward to reading your comments about Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, accepting a bag of cash in an apparent bribe, and the Trump White House claiming there's nothing to see here. I'm David Schuster. Thanks for joining us.